Jimmy of Hampton's PR. And now here's Judy.
Happy New Year, everybody. And I'm starting off the new year with a very special friend, Mike, who I've been working with previously, and he's a very funny, versatile guy.
Oh, geez, thanks, Judy. It's been a while.
Yes, but I remember you because I have a tape of you when we did that show together, and you are fantastic in that. I'd like to bring that tape in sometime so everybody could see it.
Even though my role was like this big, you remember me. I'm so flattered. Thank you. That was fun.
But it was small, but it was very memorable. You stole the show away.
I doubt that. How long ago was that? That was about, what, a year and a half?
Was it that long?
We did it at Guildhall, the reading. And
the Naked Stage. I can't remember the date.
There's a lot of fun. There's a play that you wrote, Old Gregory, right?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that vividly, yes. I was one of the dancers. And,
yes.
And you had a friend who was coordinating the whole dance routine. Scott,
yes.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, it was. I thought that was like the comedian, we were like some physical comedy injected into your reading. And,
yes, it was wonderful.
Yeah, we were dancing around with some sort of coconut thing, dress, bra thing. I don't know. It was crazy. Yes. Doing some Ethel Merman tune.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And who was that director that you had that was overseeing everything? She was really good.
Oh, Helen.
Helen, that's
Helen
right.
Mendes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. She was really impressive. I mean, she really knew her stuff. I think she made everything, work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So have you done anything like that again since then?
Sadly, no. And if it wasn't for you, I really wouldn't have had an opportunity to do any type of physical comedy or performance art out here in East Hampton. There's not a, it's a pretty small resort town, and there's not a lot of I would say avant-garde type of stuff going on. So keep me in mind for your next production, because I'm more than willing to get involved. But no, here, I consider myself an artist. I went to school for art, SUNY Purchase for painting. And then that was back in 1990. And after that, I kind of segued into theater. But since Old Gregory, I've just changed mediums. I concentrated on painting, since that's what I originally went to school for. So I rented a studio out on a Hardscrabble Farm on the corner of Stevenhans Path and Route 114 in that big barn. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's about 400 square feet. So I've been there for a year, and I'm just trying to do these landscape paintings of local scenes. And for me, that's an opportunity to let out that creative energy. Yeah.
But you're so good at as an actor, and I remember reading your resume, and you did a lot of different type of acting all over the place.
I did. After I graduated from SUNY Purchase in 1990, some of the graduates and we moved around the country. So one of the places we went was, well, first we went to Cape Cod for the summer, and that was a lot of fun. We just hung out. I worked at a restaurant as a waiter. And then when the winter came, I went to Miami Beach. I had some relatives down in Miami, and I looked for some opportunities. I did some performance. I was three performance pieces. One called Sharon Tate's Womb, and it was sort of about that whole Sharon Tate Manson incident, and it was done with music in the background, with 4 actors, and we kind of restaged that kind of massacre in a poetic way, if you can believe that. It's a little crazy, but I mean, it was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of atmosphere with this kind of mystical music and these actors moving in choreographed movements across the stage. And anyways, it was just small time stuff, But I joined, after Miami, I went to San Francisco, believe it or not. Have you ever been to San Francisco?
No, never. I've been as far as Los Angeles, but never to San Francisco.
I've been to LA once. That's a pretty nice place. It's usually about 10 degrees warmer than San Francisco is.
Yeah.
It tends to be foggy and a little bit chillier, but that city is beautiful. There's like these vistas where you'll be on one street and you can overlook the whole city. Your view, you could see the mountains in the background. And I went there. I ran into a couple of other people from SUNY Purchase in San Francisco, but for the most part, I was on my own. And then one day, I was walking down Market Street, which is the main street in San Francisco, and I saw a flyer for a theater group called the Sick and Twisted Theater Group. And they were advertising Carrie. Remember that movie, that horror movie, 1978, Robert De Palma's? No, Robert De Palma?
Carrie?
Carrie, right. Believe it or not, this theater group took the movie and interpreted it and made it a stage play, right? So I'm like, wow, what is this all about, right? It's like right up my alley. So that play was just ending. So what I did was I needed to meet the director and like introduce myself. And so what I did was at the end of the last performance, I volunteered to clean the stage. So there I was like sweeping the whole stage. And so the director, Tony Vagley, he was obligated to like say thank you. And I'm like, I said to him, and I swear to God, this is exactly what I said. I'm like, Tony, it's my calling in life to be a member of this Sick and Twisted Theater Group. And he started cracking up because he's like, are you crazy? And
you said yes.
So I got in the next play. I did. He put me in. I was the next play that he did was Dressed to Kill, another De Palma movie, right?
Yes.
And that's the one with Angie Dickinson, where she's like sliced up in the elevator. Do you remember that movie?
No.
Did you ever see that one?
No.
Well, it wasn't a huge hit, but so there we were. We did that at like some small theater. It was like 50 seats, and I played a psychiatrist. I played a mental patient, a psychiatrist. So it was like interchanging all these parts. Everyone did that. We would just change costumes and come back out. And I'll tell you, it was so much fun. And the thing about the Sick and Twisted Theater is that it isn't like some insignificant group. It actually has a lot of notice in San Francisco. It always got written up in the San Francisco Bay Times and the other local papers, and it actually was voted the number one avant-garde theater group in San Francisco. And this is like around 1996, 97. So it's actually the tail end. They've been in business for a while, and I joined at like the last couple of plays. So we did the Dress to Kill. That was pretty successful. It started off slow, but towards the end, the audience, it was full house. So the next play we did was a pretty big event. It was the Towering Inferno. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
That's the one where the skyscraper in San Francisco, the tallest building in the world, catches on fire, and people like are jumping out and everything. So if you can imagine, like trying to
stage that.
Right.
Yes, it must be difficult.
So everyone came up with like interesting ways to recreate that. So what Tony did was he had found like a huge cardboard tube that was probably like 15 feet high, and he pasted like windows onto it, and that was the building. So that was like off stage, and every time like there was like an explosion or a fire, a spotlight would come on this building, right? And there would be like sound effects or a fog machine or something happening on the building. And then on the stage was where all the action and the actors acted, and this, that, and the other. So my part was, believe it or not, I was the fire, and I closed scene one before the intermission.
Did you talk as a fire?
I didn't talk, but I danced, and I killed 2 people.
Wow.
In the original movie, do you remember Robert Wagner was one of the stars in the movie?
Yes.
And he was having an affair with his secretary in like the 100th floor of the building, right?
Yeah.
And so after they like slept together, they smelled smoke, and they opened up the door, and the whole like office area was on fire, and Robert put the towel around his head and tried to escape, but he didn't make it. He caught on fire and died.
Oh my gosh.
Right, and then the secretary like burns up too. So my job was to reenact that whole with these 2 actors. So what we did was I found like this industrial sweeping floor pad, and I cut a hole in the middle, and I put it over my head. So it was like a circle of like 4 feet in circumference. I spray painted it orange, yellow, and red. And then I had this black leotard with like this huge like red silk cloth that like hanged like 6 feet off of my body. And I did this coordinated dance to this like suspenseful music as one of the actors had a towel over his head. And we did this coordinated dance, and then he like dies in my arms, and I throw him down. And then I go on stage, and the other actor is crawling on the stage trying to get away. And I'm doing like this dance behind her. And the timing was perfect. And it looked so absurd. I mean, the whole house was just roaring. It really worked. And then we closed the first scene, and that was really successful. So that's an example of avant-garde, you know, just coming up with like these characters and situations.
And do you really feel that when you're painting, you're getting just as much out of it when you're acting?
I'm definitely purging my creative energies, but it's a totally different experience. It really is, because when you're painting, it's really about yourself and the canvas and what you're trying to recreate onto the canvas, and you're really focused on that. It's not about group activities, you know. It's not like coordination with other people, you know. It's like between you and the canvas. And
I know, but that's why I'm wondering, how could you compensate one to the other?
I think it's
or getting the same out of it.
You know, the need for me to do something creative is so strong that the theater part was like not really available here. It's not accessible. So the creative juices in me have to come out somehow. I mean, they just do. I mean, I've tried like just to ignore it, and I've gone through these stages where I just kind of put it aside, and I would get depressed. That's how strong it was.
Didn't you do something with music also? I remember something.
I don't remember that. What?
You did.
With like the keyboards and stuff. Yeah.
You were going to record something, and then you went. Where did you go? You moved away for a while.
I think I went back to, because every year I go back to San Francisco. Right?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
You went away, and then came back.
Well, the thing is, I dabble. Like I can play keyboards pretty good, and I can like make up some music and stuff, but it's never led to any like money or anything big, any big projects. It's just more, it's more like a personal hobby. You know, like if some people have little hobbies they do. I don't really share it with a lot of people. It's like...
You shared it with me.
Well, you're the piano lady. Aren't you the piano lady in the town here?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, you definitely have a lot more experience than I do when it comes to music, I think.
I mean, you do a lot of different things. That's very nice. You're very talented.
As long as it's creative, it doesn't have to be one medium. I've taught myself. I think anyone can learn to be a drawer or a painter. I mean, I think everyone's capable of learning to some degree. So I've taught myself, and I've taken classes in different mediums. So,
And are you going to do any visual thing here for us?
I might be inclined to give you an example of one of the plays that I was in San Francisco, but do you want to see I brought it with me like a photo of the latest painting that I'm working on, and that can give you, would you be interested in seeing that?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I brought like an 8x10. Let's see here. I don't think I've ever shown you my artwork. Have you ever seen anything? So this is definitely what I'm working on these days. These landscape paintings. Can you get a close-up of that? And these are like these paintings are fairway, the 9th fairway at the Maidstone Golf Course in East Hampton. I've been working there in the summer for 6 years now, and this is the vantage point I have. I work at the Halfway House. It's a little concession stand in the middle of the golf course, and this is like what I see for 6 years now, every day, 6 days a week. So I needed to just like represent what my like 80% of my life is, and so that's what I've done. I've gotten some commissions, and I'm just like working towards being more a serious artist. And
oh, that's very impressive.
Well, I've got to do something, Judy. I've got to do something. So next time you have a play you want me to be in, you call me, and I'll be
definitely
more than happy.
You're very lively.
Now, Speaking of the Sick and Twisted Theater,
Yes.
this is the first play that I was in after I introduced myself to Tony Vagley, who's the director of the Sick and Twisted Theater. So this is the flyer that we had for Dress to Kill. And you can see Sick and Twisted Plays presents Dress to Kill. And it was just one of these really campy plays. The second play that I did with the Towering Inferno is started out really slow. I don't know, the house was probably like half full when we first started, but word got around and we got an excellent write-up in the San Francisco Chronicle. And then by the end of the show, it was like a 1-month run. We had full houses the whole time. And I mean, you can see like the kind of campiness that's involved, because this is the flyer that we distributed. And I did one, do you remember the Halloween movies?
Yes.
So, of course, we had to do the Halloween stage production of the Halloween movies, and I was in that. But I have to say, the most successful one that I was in before the Sick and Twisted ended, because Tony Vagley, he ended up moving to Las Vegas. He kind of like packed in the whole thing.
Oh, the theater? He moved the theater
well, he
to
left,
Las Vegas?
and without Tony, there really was just the actors around, so we all ended up doing like different things. But before he folded up the Sick and Twisted, he had this idea to do a roast for Linda Blair, the actress. All right, so she lived in LA, and he got in touch with her agent and told her about what he was going to do. And she agreed to come up to San Francisco and be the guest star in the audience if some of the proceeds went to her cause. Yeah, she was into animal rescue, and so some of the money had to go there. So we did this flyer for the Linda Blair Affair. It's called the Linda Blair Affair. And we did this at the Women's Center in San Francisco on 18th Street. I think it's between Valencia and Guerrero Street. And that's a pretty big theater. That's like a 400 or 500 seat place. And word got around, and it was a sold-out performance. And Linda Blair was on the local radio stations talking about it. And so my part was we did a scene from The Exorcist. Okay, remember that movie?
Oh, how can I forget that?
That was one of, they keep remaking it. But the original starred Linda Blair, and I forget who else. But I think Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn,
Yeah,
yes.
she was great in it. So we did this, like, I don't know, 20-minute version, the key elements of The Exorcist. And there was an actress playing Linda Blair. And, the idea was, how are we going to simulate Linda Blair being levitated in midair on stage, right? So being campy as we are, we came up with this idea of having two demon dances, like dressed in black, dancing around this actress, and then just through dance routine, we elevated her over our heads, and circled her around on stage. And Linda Blair came up after the show, after the performance, and she was like, "Thank you, that was so good. It looked like it took so much energy, blah blah blah." And so we introduced ourselves to her, and got some autograph photos and stuff. And it was just a thrill, it really was.
So what are we going to do now? Are you going to do some? Are you going to demonstrate any of this stuff that
Would you like
did?
to see a little?
Oh, of course I would. I'd love to see you do anything.
Well, I think it might be nice to show you the routine I had from the
Okay,
Exorcist.
come on, let's
get on with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's get on. Let's get on.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Okay. Michael is getting ready for this wonderful event that we're going to see. We could go to the special feature of our show and show that trivia. And I myself recognize the guy, but I don't know who the girl is. If anybody who knows who they are, write to me. And there is the address. And I will select, somebody's going to select you for as my next guest. And you don't have to be in show business. You don't have to be, you could be a shoemaker. I'm saying shoemaker. I'm just reading a book the autobiography of, not autobiography, the biography of John Adams. He was our second president. I think it's the most amazing book. I mean, that man went through so much, but he never lost sight of his goal, which was, he was the very, the moving factor for us to become an independent country, America. Although a lot of people don't remember him or don't even give him credit, but he was he was one of the very staunch pursuer of this country. And he wasn't very popular, but he didn't dwell on that. He just kept doing what he thought was right. And I think maybe that Michael is ready, and he's going to come and show us what he's doing. So, do you need an introduction? The body of Christ commands you. The body of Christ commands you. The body of Christ commands you. Oh, that was something. Oh my gosh.
Potato chip?
That was something else. And that's the way you dressed for it.
More or less.
It is. You got a big hand. I don't know if I did this at the right time or I did it too soon.
That was excellent, Judy.
It was.
I think we should take this on the road.
Yes, I think we make a perfect pair. Oh, you have to put your...
Oh, did I forget a prop? Oh my God. The
There.
scandal. We were supposed to do this.
What? Oh. Oh my gosh, what was that supposed to be?
I forgot to do one prop. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That's the fog machine.
Oh, you were supposed...
Can you hear me?
Well, I think that we have...
Creating a little atmosphere as the
Oh,
devil
yes.
dances around your
I
stage.
think we're all going to disappear now.
Are you sorry you had me on? I must ask you.
No, I'm not sorry at all. Oh, I have to take this off. It's so tight.
It's not every day you have a guest on in like a leotard.
I think this is one of the most memorable shows I had so far.
Should we bring out our other guest?
The other guest? Okay, you want to hold her? Oh my gosh, this is really... And tell me, did you make her up?
I did, from like some Halloween props that I had.
You did this?
My mother donated her nightgown
Oh,
and her slippers.
see, this is...
This is a wig that I found somewhere.
Oh, just my color.
It is your color.
Yes, I would love to. And
Did you notice any wigs missing from your closet?
Yeah, and those earrings, you said you have earrings?
If it came off, I would give it to you,
No,
Judy.
I mean at the bottom, what's hanging?
Oh, that's flesh. That's just some
that's
dangling
flesh.
flesh right here, made out of latex.
And what is the arm made out of?
The arm is made out of a skeleton I bought from CVS, and I put some latex and some duct tape, and the armature is wood.
Oh.
That's it. This
So
is a
it was really,
possessed girl.
even though you didn't call me when you got back from San Francisco, I found you anyway.
You did. I'm glad you called. It's been a long time.
And then I asked you to come on my show, and you said yes, and that was so nice. I didn't have to keep calling you, which sometimes I have to do.
I didn't know what to expect, but this is fun.
Well,
So
I
you
knew
do
I
this
was
every
going to
week,
have a
huh?
lot of fun with you. I knew that.
So are you going to call me the next time you have a
Oh.
production or something going on?
Just count on it. I'll be in touch with you.
That'll
We're going
be
to have a lot
great.
of fun together as we had in the past. So in the future, too.
Yeah, definitely. Are you working on projects now?
Oh, I'm keeping quite busy, I have to say, quite busy. And now we're going to say goodbye to everybody. I usually wave to people like, bye. You say bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
And I'll see you next time with another guest.
The demon girl says goodbye too.
And did you offer some chips to have some potato chips? Oh. You really are a scream.
Love me in Paris.
This was, Gregory. It was Maggie.
Love me